President Biden accusing Israel's leaders of using humanitarian aid as a bargaining chip. Rich Edson is with me. What's the White House saying about Biden's relationship with Netanyahu?
Well, Stuart, the White House says that President Biden and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have their differences, that the two leaders have known each other for quite some time, and that they are comfortable discussing their differences frankly.
They don't agree on everything, haven't over 40 years, and there are certain aspects to the prosecution of operations in Gaza where we obviously don't agree with everything that Israel has done, but they have a relationship where they can talk to one another, and they do, and they will again. He is the Prime Minister of Israel. We respect the sovereignty of the Israeli people.
Biden and top administration officials have warned the Israeli government that the United States cannot support a massive Israeli military operation in Rafah without a verifiable plan to take care of the Palestinians who've taken refuge there. Netanyahu says Israel must continue pursuing Hamas leadership.
When people tell us don't go into Rafah, that's like telling the Allies, listen, don't go into Berlin, leave a quarter of the Nazi army intact. You know, that's ridiculous. You know, if we leave a quarter of the Hamas fighting terrorist battalions in place, they'll regroup, reconquer Gaza, and in fact, perpetrate once again what they vowed to do.
Last week, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said Netanyahu has lost his way, is too willing to tolerate civilian deaths in Gaza, and is driving down worldwide support for Israel. Schumer called for new elections in Israel once the war dies down. He did add the U.S. cannot dictate the outcome of an election there. Netanyahu called the comment wholly inappropriate. President Biden said that Schumer delivered a good speech in its entirety and says that he believes that there are concerns that Schumer raised that he shares, as do many Americans. Stuart?
Thanks, Rich. I want to get more on Netanyahu and his response to Senator Schumer, who had called for a leadership change in Israel. Watch this again, please. Roll it.
I think Schumer's statements are wholly inappropriate. I think we're not a banana republic. The people of Israel will choose when they'll have elections, who they'll elect, and it's not something that will be foisted upon us. That, you know, it's wrong to try to replace the elected leaders of a sister democracy and a staunch American ally at any time, but especially during the time of war. I think the only thing that we should be focused on is changing the regime in Gaza, bringing down the terrorist regime of Hamas and not the duly elected government of Israel. That's the right policy.
Got it. Florida Congressman Byron Donalds joining me now. Congressman, is the GOP, the Republican Party, now the principal supporter of Israel in America?
Yes, that's 100% correct, Stuart. The reason why is because Republicans in the House in particular on two occasions have tried to fund Israel, make sure that they got the weapons that they needed in order to defeat Hamas. If you go back to a couple of weeks after October 7th, House Republicans passed a measure, $14.3 billion. We used the IRS slush fund that Joe Biden created to pay for that aid to Israel. It passed the House with overwhelming support. You had Democrats supporting that bill. Chuck Schumer tabled it in the Senate. I know most people don't remember this because the day that he tabled it, it was the big rally in the National Mall for Israel. So he went out there and shook hands, but when it was time to take care of business, he went back to the Senate floor and Senate Democrats tabled that bill. The Democrat Party has a major issue with Israel within their ranks. They are trying to kowtow, frankly, to voters in Michigan and Minnesota, as well as their backroom deals with the Iranians, as opposed to standing with Israel. Those are the facts.
Got it. Congressman, law enforcement intercepted 25 Haitian migrants off the Florida coast. They had guns and drugs in the boat. What should we do about Haiti? Should America step in and control the island?
Well, first thing first is that Governor DeSantis has made this call. We need to be calling on the Biden administration to securing Florida and the country from people trying to use flotillas and boats and ships to come into America and just get off at some point. There has to be a protection barrier for the state of Florida, the way there should definitely be one for the southern border. That is the Biden administration they need to do. Secondarily, we're at the same issue again. Joe Biden dithered. It was 18 months ago when the Haitian president was assassinated, what did the administration do then? Nothing. They watched this catastrophe. We've now abandoned 6 embassies under Joe Biden's watch, a catastrophe for a nation. But since Haiti is close to us, should we step in and actually try to do something to help stabilize that country? Yes, we should. But first and foremost, you got to protect American citizens, especially here in Florida. Secondarily, this administration, frankly, needs to go because they have no strategy. They're always late to every crisis that they watch and that they create.
We shipped in billions after the earthquake in Haiti and have no idea where it went. If we ship more money there, we've no idea where it's going to go. Byron Donalds, thank you very much for joining us, sir. Always appreciate it. We'll see you later.
Thank you.